We're back. We're back with your question and answers, the top question and answers that we have picked to really deep dive. These ones deserve more than just a couple lines of response. I'm here with the ladies. We're going to go through the top questions. Check this out. Everybody, I am Brent Daniels, and I am joined by Alejandra Murch and Hanifa Brown. And we are here with the top 10 questions that you guys picked, right?
Yep.
So they each picked top questions from the comments section, and we're going to deep dive those questions right now. So Alejandra, will you do the honors with the first question?
Yes, so Jimmy E. Smith commented, how do we find a good list? Driving for dollars, list source, prop stream, please help.
Got it. That is a great question. And I think we get this a lot on the channel because the list, guys, the list is so critically important. Remember, if we break down this business to the most key element, and that is having quality conversations with distressed property owners, the distressed part of that is the list.
Right.
Okay, so we talk about on this channel a couple different things. One, you got to do driving for dollars. We highly suggest the Deal Machine app because it saves you so much time. It's only $40 a month if you sign up with the TTP code. Why am I pushing that? Because it is really awesome to use. You can get a whole team. We've got, 6 people on ours that Alejandra runs and make sure that we get the best, most distressed list possible. That's going to be huge. Second one is we love pulling the vacant land lists from PropStream. PropStream is a phenomenal tool. You can, again, check that out at ttpdata.com. All these things are linked down below, but if you're watching on your phone and you don't see those links, ttpdata.com, check that out. You get a free trial. Anyway, with $97 a month, that's 10,000 addresses that you can export.
Insane.
So that's super cheap. So definitely check that out. But yeah, I like looking for vacant land lists of properties that have been owned for 5 years. I like looking for them in specific zip codes in town so that you can get the biggest bang for your buck, because the further out of town you get with vacant land, the less you make on each deal. So focus on the ones in town that you can sell to developers or the neighbors or whatever it is, and that'll be phenomenal. List Source is the final one. Phenomenal resource, but I think it's like 9 to 12 cents an address. If you're part of the Rhino Tribe, if you're part of TTP, you get it at 3 cents an address. So that seemed like a lot of plugging, a lot of different tools, but it's all tools that we use in our business to do over $1 million a year on the phones. So that's what I'm going to tell you to use. So, Hanifa.
Alrighty. Matt buys houses.
Yep.
Investor asks, could you elaborate in post-possession?
Post-possession. Oh, great question. So as the market heats up, this is something that's really, really, really critical. Post-possession basically means we've got a contract on Hanifa's house, okay? But Hanifa needs 30 days to move, to get everything packed, to get going. But I want to close it as fast as possible because it's a juicy deal, right? I want to close it in 10 days. That means there's 20 days that she needs to move out. So what we do is we put together an addendum, and it's a post-possession addendum that basically just puts it very clear what the terms of our relationship is after I own the house, or whoever the cash buyer is that I sell it to owns the house. So typically, she stays there for free for whatever it is, those 20 days. But we do a holdback of her proceeds. We usually do $10,000, depending on if it's over $150,000 the price or not. I'm going a little fast, I'll slow down. Or if it's under $150,000, we'll do like a $5,000 holdback. Now that's with the title company or the closing attorney. So they hold those funds until they get notice from me that Hanifa is out of the house is in decent shape. Now, the other thing that you might want to consider with post-possession is whether or not you're going to allow them to leave their stuff there, right? Because a lot of people just want to leave all their stuff there. So that's another cost for you. If you want them to get it out of there, then you need to make it clear in the contract, in the addendum, the post-possession agreement addendum. So if you have any questions about it, the title companies do a really good job of putting that together for you, helping you with the verbiage to make sure that everything runs smoothly. Great question, though.
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay, Nija93 I'm thinking this is what she's saying when she's talking on the phone. So,
Okay.
what responses do you do when you get, how'd you get my number, and how do I know you're legit?
Love it. This is huge because that's one of the 6. So if you guys, it's one of the 6 responses you get. So we talk about using whenever you're calling somebody up, whenever you're using the TTP script, which I highly suggest you use, you can get it by emailing me at Brent@Wholesaling Inc.com. Send it. But one of the 6 responses is, how'd you get my number, right? So people, when you ask them, would you consider an offer on their property? Yes, no, maybe I'll sell it. How much will you give me? How'd you get my number? And who are you, right? So understand and respond to those responses. But when it comes to how'd you get my number, just tell them. Just tell them. I send in addresses to a company, and they send me back the phone numbers if they have them. Sometimes I get lucky. You can say the company's name if you want. You can say that you get it that there's an online company that provides data for you because you're a real estate investor and you're trying to reach out to people that would and see if they would consider an offer on their property. So I think honesty is the best thing here. If they're super drivers, which you're going to get a lot of with that question, just tell them, oh, I bought it. You know what I mean? It's quick. They're like, oh, well, yeah, I guess everything's for sale on the internet these days. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, yeah, that's the other one is if you're legit. Here's the interesting thing. If you're just starting out, you got to be honest with them. Say, hey, I'm just starting out. There's not a lot of, I haven't done a lot of deals, but I can show you that I'm going to work with you. You understand my personality. You understand that I'm communicating with you. You're going to have to trust me that I can get the process done. Well, I don't trust you. Okay, well, here's some of the people that I'm working with, and find somebody that has a great reputation that can help you with that deal. Even if you have to split it with them, you can piggyback on them until you get your first few deals under, and you have a first few testimonials, or you've got to relate. The escrow officer,
Yeah.
Exactly. This is what I'm talking about. Once you've done a few deals, give them the name and number to your escrow officer or closing attorney and say, hey, listen, this is a third party company. They obviously don't have a dog in this fight. Ask them if I get deals closed. That is the most powerful way. I use it all the time. Every time somebody reaches out to my escrow officer, they are on top of it. And that is so important. Your escrow officer is part of your team, part of your company. So make sure you make the right choice with that.
Okay, answer.
Yep.
All right. So Anthony Mohammed wants to know, my cash buyer said to me he doesn't want to go through my attorney or the closing company and would like to use his own.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any problems with this scenario that you can foresee?
No, it's fine. And that happens often, but make sure these are, if they want to use their own title company, typically it's because they're paying all the costs, right?
Yeah.
When we go to the table with the seller, we say, here's the contract. Here's a net offer to you. We're going to buy everything as is. Here's your net. We'll pay all the closing costs. So then when we take that to another buyer, you say, well, wait a second. I've got a relationship with this company. It's cheaper for me here. I'm paying for it anyway. I want to work with it. Now, here's the important thing. See how far in and how deep your escrow officer is in communicating with the seller. Because if the seller likes the title company, if the seller feels comfortable with the title company, having them just ripped out of that title company, put into another one is a challenge. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the communication that you have with your buyer is, hey, listen, we've already got everything going here. I'll help whatever you need to do with the costs in going to this new company. They're great. I work with them all the time. This escrow company is going to be smooth. They do a great job, but I need to keep it here because the seller prefers it. Okay. Now, if the buyer's kicking and screaming, then you can have a conversation with that seller, and usually it's fine. Usually they don't really care. But just make sure that this buyer is somebody that's being cool and they're not an asshole. Like, for real, if they're just trying to big dog you or trying to, like, make you do stuff on their terms because of their personality, just don't go for it. Find a different buyer. But I really don't mind. If somebody wants to switch it over to their title company, as long as we haven't already got the identity statement and got all the escrow opened and they're already doing work with my title company, if that hasn't already started, then it's fine to switch it over to a different title company. Awesome. Great question. All right, next.
Okay, so from CJ Love, he said...
CJ Love, TTP family member. All right, man.
He said, awesome video, Brent. Always have great content to provide. Our team watched this video and came up with a few questions with regarding the escrow process. Are you scheduling the cash buyer walkthrough before clear title has been received? And how are you navigating your walkthroughs with uncooperative tenants?
So Alejandra's going to answer the uncooperative tenants because Alejandra's the master at dealing with uncooperative
I don't
tenants.
think I'm the master. I just get all the.
You just get them.
I just get them.
She doesn't prefer them. Trust me. But with the walkthroughs, what do you have to send to what do you do with uncooperative tenants?
Oh, we usually send a 48-hour notice.
Right.
And then it usually takes over from there. But yeah, I've been through a lot of that, and it's difficult. But there are tenants that don't want to leave. So
I think one, you have to have empathy with the tenants. The difficult part is when they won't communicate with you. Now
That's
listen.
true.
They don't want you do a great job. You go out there, you're like there for hours. She's there for hours talking to these people. They tell you the craziest
their whole life story.
the whole life story, right? And then but it's when they kind of ghost on you that I think is what he's talking about, that CJ's talking about. And what you want to do is we have just a standard 48-hour notice. You can pull one up online, check it out, or talk to an attorney in your area, and we give it to the owner of the property. The owner then sends it to them, certified mail, or post it on the door, takes a picture of it, whatever, find out the exact steps there. But basically, with a 48-hour notice, the tenant has to let people in, okay? So that's just the Landlord-Tenant Act. So 48-hour notice, written notice, formal notice will get you in. Typically, once you're in, you can have a conversation with them because they're there and they're just mad, or they've got things going on top of having to move, they lost their job, or somebody's ill, or something's going on there. So it's usually a combination of things. So just have a huge amount of empathy. The first one do we do a final walkthrough before we get clear title? Listen, I don't care what's going on with title. Title is the job of the escrow officer. That's why it's so critically important to have a killer escrow officer. Let them handle title. Okay, your job is to, if you're going to be wholesaling, is to get the buyers, is to assign it to a buyer. Get their non-refundable earnest money, and make sure you get them into the property if they want to get into the property. So absolutely, I'm going to get those buyers into the property before we get clear title. Now, does sometimes things get sticky in title? Sure. Let their attorneys deal with it. If they can't deal with it and you have to cancel the contract because something in there is not going to allow the transaction to move forward, then that's fine. Find another property for that buyer. Give them an IOU. You know what I mean? If you want to be cool about it and keep them and they're good buyers. So absolutely, stop worrying about what the title company does. Stop worrying about what the closing attorney does. Let them do their job. Got it?
Absolutely.
Good. What do you got?
All right. Question from Brian Cleary.
Okay.
He asks, is there a screencast video that shows how to do this using PropStream?
Got it. So I assume, Brian, that you were talking about either running comps, which I'll do a video through PropStream where I comp 3 to 5 properties to kind of let you into my brain to show you how I pull them and really get an effective way to get the value of the property or the fixed up value of the property. But if you're talking about pulling lists, maybe land, I'll do some land, multifamily, some with liens. I'll do some videos on that. I'll do it. No, I won't do it on this thing. I'll do it on my computer and just screenshot it, and then we'll post it. Give me about a week or two. But yeah, ttpdata.com. Check it out. Get it going. Get used to it, and then by the time the videos come out, you can start using it. Yep. Awesome.
Sweet.
Mufasa TV commented, Brent, do you also teach virtual wholesaling in your one-on-one mentorship?
Yeah, we have a lot of virtual people. You know what I mean? We have a lot of people working from California that do virtual in Idaho, or they do it in New Mexico, or they do it in Louisiana or Tennessee, whatever it is. So there's
We just had that video with that woman.
Yeah, we just did one with Lauren, and really great one. You can check it out. It's a week or two ago. But anyway, basically the talking to people is mostly on the phone. You're going to virtually do it anyway, right? So if you are pre-qualifying people the way that the way that I show you to, not tell you to, the way that I explain you to, based on condition, timeline, motivation, price, you can get almost everything done over the phone. You literally can get it all over the phone. You can send them a contract for an e-signature through DocuSign or whatever e-signature you want to use, or you can hire people through Craigslist to take the pictures. Usually it's $50 to $70 to take pictures and get the contract signed, or if you really want to get fancy, use a mobile notary to go out there and sign the contracts up. You can get it 123 Notary or something.
Yeah.
What is it? Right?
Yeah, I think it's 123.
123notary.com is who we use for a lot of our land deals, because a lot of our land, these people are all over the place. I mean, and we go for out-of-state owners like crazy. So, you could definitely do virtual. We do a lot of virtual just in our business with our land deals. And it's really a smooth process. Everything can be done on the phone. It's 2019. Worst case, get on a FaceTime with them if they want to see who you are.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
Alrighty. Well, Barbara Slobin asks, how do you find virtual title companies in other markets? I think I can. answer this one.
Yeah. Go for it.
Okay. Good question, Barbara. We're getting a lot of questions regarding
I'm
title
telling
and
you.
escrow today.
I'm telling you.
That's a good question. What you want to do is tap into your local market. We all have realtors. We all have people on our social media who we know, sell real estate. So send out a poll. Ask the question online. Request the feedback. See who other people are using in that market.
So you're saying if we're in Phoenix, we want to sell in Atlanta, you would go to Atlanta and post that, like the
Absolutely.
fix and flip groups or the people doing deals out there and that type of thing.
Reach out to realtors or other people who are doing investors who are doing deals in the area to find out who they're utilizing. It's
Right.
simple.
Yeah, just get referrals. Get referrals from the top people that are out there. Oftentimes those people, once you get to a certain point, it's really interesting in this business. Once you get to a certain point, people that are doing the most business, all of a sudden they start buying title companies. You know what I mean? So they're more than happy to refer you people to use or closing attorneys or whatever. When it comes to virtual, though, I would definitely work with a human.
Absolutely. You definitely want a personal touch when it comes to communicating
Right.
with your escrow officer. A lot of the times we get tied up in just being automated, but when it comes to deals, within the real estate market, you definitely want somebody who's going to be sometimes, if there's something that needs to be done where they're holding your hand or walking you through the process, especially if you're new, you don't really want to be working with a virtual company. Something face-to-face with a personal interaction is a lot better. I would definitely recommend that.
Yep. It's a huge, for the third time, get an amazing escrow officer and closing attorney. Yep. Awesome.
Okay.
Last one.
Question.
We made it.
What is the difference between Wholesaling Inc and TTP? And if you are in the Wholesaling Inc program, can you join TTP?
Love it. So, a couple different things. Yes, if you are in Wholesaling Inc, there is a discount to get into TTP. They are two separate programs. TTP is about being proactive and getting deals on the phone and not waiting for deals through marketing. It's more prospecting. Wholesaling Inc is going to teach you the fundamentals, and they've been the best for years. The most successful years of teaching you the fundamentals of wholesaling and how to do the marketing through direct mail. So it depends on who you are. If you're one of those crazy killers out there that's proactive, the one that has the personality that if you get somebody on the phone, they're going to do business with you, right? Then TTP is the way to go. If you're not real sure, if you feel like you need a foundation, Wholesaling Inc. the program for sure, the absolute best. If you've been doing your research, if you feel confident that if you get somebody that is motivated that you can close the deal, then TTP is the way to go. What do you think?
TTP is the way to go. TTP.
TTP. So that's it, guys. This has been incredible. You guys have, if you've made it this long watching this video, thank you so much. You guys give us the absolute best comments, the best videos, so much support, so much love for all of us, up here. We really appreciate it. And each other. You guys are commenting on each other, really supporting each other. How do people follow you on Instagram?
Hanifa. Hanifa Brown.
Okay, we'll put that. We'll
Alejandra.
is it just
It's
Okay.
literally both of our Instagrams
hashtag
are both
it.
of our names.
We'll put it on here.
We'll put it
Anyway,
on there.
guys, thank you for watching. You guys are the absolute best. If you are interested in the TTP program, do not hesitate to schedule a call to see if it is the right program for you at wholesalinginc.com/TTP. Other than that, I encourage you, as always, go out and talk to people. See ya. Love you.
Bye.